Amerikaanse rapper en producer Oddisee in de studio. Vorig jaar heeft hij net North Sea Jazz bijvoorbeeld achter de rug. Maar je kunt hem ook gezien hebben op Into the Great Wide Open of Best Kept Secret. Het is jazzy hip-hop met hele slimme maatschappijkritische teksten. En ja, hij heeft wat te vertellen. En ook dit jaar gaat hij ons land niet voorbij met een nieuw album en maar liefst 3 clubshows die hij aan het doen is. Je vindt hem bijvoorbeeld morgen in Doornroosje Nijmegen. Dan ook weer in Beurt Rotterdam. En tenslotte maakt hij hem komend weekend af in Paradiso Noord, de Tolhuistuin. Good evening, Oddisee. How you doing?
Great.
Oh, wait, you're not... There's something wrong with
There
the
it
mic.
is.
Ah, there you are. Hi.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
How's tour life treating you?
So far, so good. The shows have been amazing thus far.
Really?
Yeah, they've been really good. Yeah.
What happened? Were there strange, fans?
Aren't there always?
Yeah, that's true.
You know? But no, they were definitely... we're being received very, very well. I think this is one of the first tours that I've been on where more than 50% of the audience is familiar with me before they come in the door.
Oh my God.
Usually it's been about 50-50 where someone's dragged along by a friend and they genuinely equally love it, but I think it's been more higher percentage of people already familiar with the music.
Less drag-ons. Last time you were here, it was July last year. And it was right at the start of the Republican convention. And Donald Trump was elected as the Republican nominee. And we talked politics here on the air. And,
Remember what I was talking about back then? Remember that conversation?
Absolutely. I was just going to ask whether you did. But yes, we do remember.
Yeah.
What happened, right? Such another world now.
Yeah.
Yep, but you already predicted it.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not that I predicted it. This has been a reality of America's been split culturally since its beginning, since its inception, and what we're witnessing today is something I feel like a lot of minorities in the United States are already familiar with. It's many of the issues and concerns that we've attempted to address numerously in the past that have been ignored or marginalized or deemed unnecessary anymore or outdated. Concerns such as racism, job discrimination, sexism, homophobia, and we are constantly told that these are things of the past many times, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, they're all brought to the surface. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a form of exfoliation culturally and socially that we are no longer allowed to ignore some of the ugly truths of our society, and that they're coming to the front, to the surface, and we have to now deal with it united.
Last year when we talked about this, you were a little bit like, it's heavy to talk about all these things, on the air and be so outspoken. But a lot has happened in like half a year.
So much.
And your album, you couldn't be any clearer in your lyrics.
I started this album off wanting to discuss how things are deeper than people understand in my own life and in the music industry. That's where I was when I came up with the title, The Iceberg, and wanting people to dig beneath the surface. But as the news unfolded and politics revealed itself, I started to realize that critical thinking was at an all-time low, period. Not just for understanding of artists in the arts and the music industry or my own personal life and flash judgment, but in general, critical thinking was at a low, and we were all judging things on the surface to come up with opinions and assessments. And it was a very big concern for me. So I wanted to take time to address that in this album and to encourage critical thinking.
What were the reactions? How did people react to you?
Overwhelmingly good. I'm shocked. I was very, very nervous to do a record that had such political tones. I've always spoken about politics and social issues here and there, but never this forthright. So I was a bit nervous, but it's being received very, very well. I think my biggest fear was personal. I didn't want to be seen as someone taking advantage of an opportunity in politics to bring more attention to myself, which is why I've always been nervous to do so.
Yeah.
But I'm so directly connected to so many of the things going on in the United States and elsewhere in the world that I almost felt it was my responsibility to at this point.
Don't you think that if you really believe it and just want to say this message, that everybody's going to believe you anyway and wants to talk about you and not see this like marketing or anything?
Back to it being an invisible wall put in my own mind where I was nervous that people wouldn't, even though I genuinely feel these things, I was nervous, like, what if I'm perceived as someone benefiting off of it? And I just had to let it go and accept it. And I've just been relieved to the reception that the record has received from everyone. I mean, I've had dialogue with minorities who are Trump supporters, who are open fans of mine, and we're engaged in comments on Facebook about news and issues. And this is exactly what I wanted.
What is an example of the more difficult subjects that you tackled on this album? Which song were you really nervous about?
I was nervous about You Grew Up. It's a song on the album that talks about the indoctrination into a belief system of how children all start off equally innocent, and it is life itself that kind of steers our belief systems into what we'll become as adults, good or bad. And the song is about white police officers killing black minorities and about Islamic extremists and terrorists, but both of them starting off from the perspective as children first and being innocent, and what life presented to them they were too fragile to handle and had an adverse reaction. I was very nervous about that song.
I can imagine. Yeah. Is that the song that you guys are going to play right now, or is it another one?
It is not. We are going to sing a song that is actually the rebuttal to that, called I Just Want to Be, meaning I just want to be happy, I want to be free. It's the song that's somewhat of the answer to society's woes.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Please go next door and get yourself ready.
Sounds good, I will do.
Het is Oddisee in de studio. Zoals je hoort is het absoluut de moeite waard om je radio nou net even wat harder te zetten en goed te luisteren naar wat hij allemaal aan het rappen slaat hier. Voor zoveel maatschappijkritische teksten als er op zijn albums, daar staat er dus ook iets van een, oplossing is een iets te groot woord, maar gewoon een goede hoop, een goede boodschap. En dat is dan de boodschap die hij nu gaat brengen. Are you guys ready?
So ready.
Oké, hier is Oddisee live.